UK Immigration Policy 2025 Comprehensive Overview Restoring Control over the Immigration System. The UK government has rolled out a sweeping set of reforms in 2025 aimed at overhauling the entire immigration structure. These changes are focused on reducing net migration, tightening control over low-skilled and temporary migration, and shifting the focus towards high-skilled individuals who contribute more economically and socially. With a political focus on restoring public confidence in the system, these reforms affect nearly every route from work to study, family to asylum. Skilled worker and job-based immigration. The minimum skill requirement has been raised from RQF Level 3, equivalent to A-levels, to RQF Level 6, which aligns with bachelor's degree or equivalent roles. This move significantly reduces eligibility for entry-level or mid-level skilled migrants, especially in trades and care sectors.
The minimum salary threshold has increased across the board. Most roles must now offer salaries of £25,000 to £38,700 or more, depending on the sector and region. This directly impacts employers who previously relied on budget international hires. The Shortage Occupation List, SOL, has been abolished. In its place is a temporary shortage route designed to allow limited, time-bound entry for only a few select roles deemed absolutely critical. These are subject to high scrutiny and expire within a strict time frame. The Immigration Skills Charge, ISC, a fee employers pay for each sponsored worker, has increased by approximately 32%, placing more financial pressure on businesses, especially SMEs and those in hospitality, health or construction. Social care and health visa reforms. The health and care worker visa, which had been a lifeline for the understaffed care sector, is now scheduled to close to new applicants by 2028. This gives employers a 3-year transition window to re-strategise and upskill domestic labour. Anti-DCES visa holders under this route can remain and transition to other pathways if eligible. But no new entries will be permitted after the cut-off year. This has sparked concern in the social care industry, which already struggles to attract local staff due to pay and workload issues. The government has justified this phase-out by stating that reliance on low-wage migrant labour is unsustainable, and that the long-term solution lies in reforming the domestic care workforce through better pay and training initiatives. Anti-DCES student visa. The graduate visa, previously allowing international students to stay for 2 years post-graduation, has now been cut to just 18 months. This shortens the timeline for students to find a job, apply for work sponsorship and establish residency. I have some violent student sponsors, universities and colleges, are now under tighter regulation. Institutions found to have weak oversight or high dropout rates risk losing their sponsor licence. I have some violence bringing. Dependents of students face new English proficiency requirements, A1 or A2, and stricter financial documentation, making it harder for students to bring family members. I have some violence bringing. These policies may discourage international talent, particularly from non-OECD countries, where students view the UK as a stepping stone to permanent settlement and work. Offer more ideas, I can still drop in that types of this language and integration requirements, must meet stricter English language criteria across all visa categories. Main applicants for work, settlement or study-related visas must now demonstrate higher listening and speaking skills, often aligned with CEFR B1, B2 levels. Had no formal language requirement, must now show basic English proficiency at A1 or A2 levels, even for temporary visas. Patental denefesifus, freer to Golan and really cheaping of spaces, and recruiting online. licensing indefinite leave to remain, or British citizenship, are required to demonstrate B2 level proficiency, reflecting expectations for deeper integration. This shift is part of a broader UK strategy to ensure faster cultural and linguistic assimilation, reduce isolation, and promote labour market participation. The level settlement mention partment include 240 and our company's 2 days. Though settlements prove rushing in this desperation, and the 10 on the language and settlement, they're restoring these bodies capitals truthers and state strong. The content sing online or include disagretion replace to 10 and deuceable. It says namely EC 4A2 party. The indefinite leave to remain, the UK's version of permanent residency, has been extended from 5 to 10 years in most categories. This affects work visa holders, spouses, and family members. Time spent on short-term visas from central, student, seasonal work will no longer count toward ILR eligibility. This blocks the traditional route of visa stacking.
UNSDAY. The same applies to British citizenship, which now requires 10 years of continuous lawful residence and stricter good character checks. An earned settlement model has been introduced, offering faster settlement options for highly skilled or high-earning individuals, such as those in the global talent, innovator, or senior executive schemes. The government claims this structure will ensure that only long-term, committed, and economically beneficial migrants are rewarded with permanent status. Entry controls, ETA and digital e-visa. From April 2025, all visa-exempt nationals, for example from the US, Australia, Gulf states, must apply for an electronic travel authorization ETA before travelling to the UK. This pre-check security system is similar to the US ESTA and costs £16. This affects tourism, short-term business visits and family visits, and introduces an added layer of digital control over border entries. The UK is fully rolling out digital e-visas, which will replace all physical biometric residence permits, BRPs, and entry stamps by early 2025. Migrants and visitors will need to carry digital proof of status on their phones or printed copies, and border enforcement will be fully automated in future. Asylum and refugee policies have been hardened, especially for individuals claiming residency through Article 8, right to family, private life, which now carries stricter definitions and narrower exceptions. The UK government has accelerated the deportation process, especially for foreign nationals involved in even minor criminal offences, such as repeated theft or fraud. A new border security command has been set up to target human trafficking gangs, prevent illegal channel crossings, and enforce rapid returns through bilateral agreements.
Genial Frenziter Ampolkal a Stringal Hying. These moves are designed to deter irregular migration, reduce claims abuse, and support a firm but fair asylum regime aligned with international law. Impact on migration. Numbers and labour market. Net migration reached a historic high of 906,000 in 2023, up from 224,000 in 2019, prompting a political and public backlash. The 2025 reforms aim to reduce these numbers by at least 100,000 annually, primarily by cutting low-skilled and family-based routes. Over 60% of future migrants are expected to be from high-skilled economic categories like tech, science, and investment. Southeastern sectors like care, hospitality, agriculture, and some parts of construction are predicted to face labour shortages unless domestic recruitment strategies improve rapidly. And universities are raising alarms about loss of international competitiveness, especially in attracting students and mid-level talent. Political and public response. Wides. Minister Keir Starmer stated that these changes are necessary to restore public confidence, bring migration under control, and ensure integration and fairness. She faced backlash for his "island of strangers" comment, which many interpreted as xenophobic, prompting a formal statement of regret. Opposition parties have taken divergent stances, some calling for even stricter controls, others urging humanitarian flexibility. Reform UK has proposed a bold market-based solution, the Britannia visa model, allowing the ultra-wealthy to buy access to the UK through one-time payments of £15,000 to £250,000, depending on rights granted. The wider public remains divided, with some welcoming the focus on skills and integration, and others concerned about Britain's global image, labour needs, and social fabric. Winners. High-skilled professionals in STEM, healthcare, doctors, finance, tech, and global talent categories. Individuals seeking fast-track, innovator, or investor routes. Employers with strong infrastructure for visa sponsorship and compliance. Losers. Workers in social care, hospitality, food service, retail and construction, especially those without degrees. International students seeking long-term visas, especially those in STEM, finance and health without degrees. Not so hot. The UK, which has the best legal and financial framework to attract skilled migrants. Cities, where the housing market remains tight. Cities with large foreign populations, where foreign workers are relatively well paid and often offer good quality public transport, and where the NHS has a shortage of doctors and nurses. The best cities for long-term visas, including high-skilled workers and families with young children and with money to spend. The USA and the UK, particularly London, with good healthcare and strong international student populations. The US, where there is a shortage of skilled doctors, and Toronto and Vancouver in Canada. Students seeking long-term stays or dependent sponsorship.
法利人在澳洲的购物需求非常旺盛，特别是在当地生活类的商品，如澳洲旅游购物、澳洲日常用品购物。
Students seeking long-term visas or dependent sponsorship from the UK. And SETI, with modest income or limited English. A linguish. Malafis Aljo TT2, and small businesses, charities, and regional employers who relied on affordable overseas workers.